Because when you are alive, you got to explain what you're doing with your hours, with your minutes, with your energy, with your talents, with your time. You got to explain, why am I here and what did I do last week with my life? Most people are living as an experiment. Who are you? As a matter of fact, humans have been trying to answer these questions for over 2,000 or 3,000 years. It's a tough question. Is your life as short as the next bill you pay? Is there a sense of destiny in your life?
I think humans find what they're looking for. If you're signing into Twitter to find a fight, or to find somebody to fight with, or to see some negativity, you're gonna find it. It's there at scale.
God sent me here to talk to you, to let you know that you are not just here as a passing fantasy. You came to this planet because something that you need to do is still undone. You were created to live life with meaning and purpose. You are not a mistake. As a matter of fact, until you discover your personal reason for living, you will never be fulfilled. You were born, sir, to do something important in this world. That's why I am convinced that all of us were created for a purpose, equipped with potential, and designed for a destiny.
Right now, a lot of people are choosing to be driven by fear and negativity without realizing it. And so if you're listening right now, my biggest thing is start leaning into a little bit more of optimism and positivity. I think where it overcorrects is when it goes into delusion.
I am convinced that you are loaded with stuff that we haven't seen yet, and is trapped under your fear of people. As a matter of fact, some of your greatest graveyards are your jobs. Nothing can bury you faster than a career that you're trapped in. You were born to do something that the world needs, and that's why until you discover your purpose, you can never maximize your potential.
But your perspective about your possessions, your stuff and my stuff, our perspective is going to determine how we respond. And perspective is vital in a person's life. How we view things is how we do things.
Your purpose, madam, is the most important thing for you to discover. Because when you find your purpose, you automatically find your potential. And when you find your purpose and potential, you become unstoppable. What is the wealthiest spot on planet Earth? Where is the greatest wealth on Earth? And someone says, well, maybe it is the gold mines of South America, or it's the diamond mines of South Africa, or the oil fields of Iran, Iraq, and Kuwait, or maybe it is the silver mines of Peru, or maybe it's the oceans of the Caribbean with all that seafood. What is the wealthiest spot on Earth? I found it. The wealthiest spot on Earth, it's the cemetery. Do you know why? Because buried in the cemetery are books that were never written. In the graveyard, we've got paintings that were never painted. Buried in the cemetery right here in Marion is music that no one has ever heard. Because people died with music in their minds. What a tragedy. The graveyard is filled with businesses that never open. Some of you had a business idea for the last 20 years and you are still employed. Because you wouldn't step out and believe God with that idea. And the cemetery is going to take that business from us. The graveyard is filled with ideas that never became reality. The graveyard is filled with visions that died as nightmares and dreams. We got plans that were never executed. The graveyard is filled with awesome, powerful treasure no one has ever used. You are about to make the cemetery even more wealthy. Why? Because trapped in you is a book that you people procrastinating on.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great essayist, said in a lecture back in 1871 that if a man can write a better book or preach a better sermon or make a better mousetrap than his neighbor, even if he builds his house in the woods, the world will make a beaten path to his door. And so I would urge you to study hard, to burn the midnight oil. I would say to you, don't drop out of school, and I understand all of the sociological reasons why we often drop out of school. But I urge you, in spite of your economic plight, in spite of the situation that you are forced to live so often with intolerable conditions, stay in school. And when you discover what you're going to be in life, set out to do it as if God Almighty called you at this particular moment in history to do it. Set out to do a good job and do that job so well that the living, the dead, or the unborn couldn't do it any better. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Don't allow anybody to pull you so low as to make you hate them. Don't allow anybody to cause you to lose your self-respect to the point that you do not struggle for justice. However young you are, you have a responsibility to seek to make your nation a better nation in which to live. You have a responsibility to seek to make life better for everybody. And so you must be involved in the struggle for freedom and justice.
To be badass, you have to do two things. One, you have to run. The second, you have to read. You run because when you run long enough, your lungs feel like they're going to explode. And if you can push through that and keep running, you'll be able to push through any obstacle. And the second, the reason he said reading, he said because a lot of smart people have gone ahead of you and they've already been through whatever problems you're experiencing. So instead of learning from your own mistakes, you can learn from theirs. That's what Warren Buffett says. He says, it's true that you only learn from mistakes, but they don't have to be yours. That's the biggest flaw that I see people, or biggest mistake I see people make. Whether they're entrepreneurs or just, employees or single mom or whatever you might be, if you try to do the learning curve all with your own experience, you will run out of life.
If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.